Well, hello and welcome to the Hot Pink Pod. I am your host, Camille Jamerson, president and one of the founding sorors of Alpha Omega Lambda Sorority Incorporated. Thank you so much for tuning in. This particular podcast is set up for people just like you who may be curious about our organization, curious about what we do and what we're all about, or you may be seeking a sisterhood of your own and want to know if we're a good fit for you. So this is our opportunity to kind of let you behind the velvet rope a little bit, to get an idea of what we're all about, to hear from the sorors directly, and not have to wonder or guess kind of what their journey has been like. We thought that this was a cool way for people to really authentically and transparently get to know who we are. You don't always have that opportunity with sororities until you get in, and we want people to have an idea of who we are and what we're about before they make that decision. And with that, we just recently crossed the line. If you've been watching some of our recent videos, and that line is named Third Degree Burn, our Gamma line. And we're so incredibly proud of them. And so we've been interviewing them while everything is still fresh to get their perspective on their journey. And today is no exception. Today we have the anchor, and it's fitting that she's the last of the interviews. She's the anchor of the line. Her name in the layer is Silent Circuit. She is absolutely amazing, and I can't wait for you guys to hear all about her journey. Would you help me welcome to the stage my soror, Soror Sheila? Hello, how are you, Soror?
I'm good. How are
Shopping
you?
college? I just noticed your polish. Come on, that's cute. I don't know if you saw in our chat today, but I got my pedi done today. So I got my toes done. But I didn't get my manicure because I didn't think I had enough time. But y'all inspiring me to get my little life together. So yes, 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 yes. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad
Thank
that
you.
you came on the show. So go all the way back to, I think we met at Brew and Flow, which was an
Correct.
event here in Michigan. So tell me about prior to that. Like, what made you say yes when you got that invitation? What were you thinking about? What were you looking for?
So I had always been thinking about joining a sorority at some point in time in my life. And then I kind of put it on the back burner. And I always thought,
Mhm.
hey, it's kind of late. You're down the road. You should have did it maybe right after college, undergrad, or then looked at it after you
Mhm.
went through grad school. And now you're further along in your career and does it really fit? But then I started thinking about, okay, maybe you should revisit it. Now, was I ready to
Mhm.
do the work in order to look at
Mhm.
the Divine Nine, those sororities? Because, it's courting, you got to do a lot of effort to try to get into them.
Mhm.
And then I happened to see on Facebook Soror Harmony
Mhm.
that I'm Facebook friends with that I know from another organization
Mhm.
as well. And so
Mhm.
she had the event out there. What was it? The Brew and Flow or something like
Brew
that.
and flow. Mhm.
Yeah, Brew and Flow. So I just happened to be downtown at that time, and I happened to remember it popped up in my Facebook feed. So I said, well, let me go by and check it out and see what's going on here and what this organization is about.
Awesome.
So
I
yeah.
remember meeting you there. It's so cool. And I remember you had avocado toast with it's I was like, okay, is she from like California or something? Because do we even do that here? Because I didn't even. I'm like, but yep, I remember getting to know you, and I remember asking. I think I asked Sora Harmony afterwards, like, "What did she think? How did you know?" But you responded like right away, and I was like, "Okay, I think she liked this. I think she liked this." So you came to the interest meeting, or was it? I think it was
hmm
the Hot Pink Happy Hour. What was that like? Tell me what you thought and felt as you start to see us in that virtual space.
Well, I thought like, okay, so if I go back to the Brew and Flow when I met you
Mm-hmm.
guys, I thought everybody was very friendly, very genuine. A lot of times in organizations, it's a series of cliques and people kind of only socialize with some of the people they know. But I felt
Mm-hmm.
like everybody was talking to everybody. It didn't matter whether you were part of the organization or not. The conversation was just flowing and it was flowing freely. So that gave me a good feeling. And then with the happy hour, it was like furthermore continuation of that. So I could see that everyone that was there is really genuine. Who you met initially is who you're going to meet if you never spoke to them again. Like a month later, you're still going to meet the same person. You're not meeting a representative or someone trying to be fake or just putting on the front because that's what they got to do, to attract people into the organization. So I felt
Yeah.
very comfortable there. So I kind of just thought, at some point in time, you have to take a leap of faith and you just have to rely on your faith and your intuition. And so what I felt is that the people were genuine and I wanted to learn more about the organization. And then in addition to that, just from watching the videos, and then when I went out on to, I'm not sure if it was the Facebook page or Instagram
Hmm.
page, looking at servicing the community,
Yeah.
which I'm very interested in.
Yeah. I love that. I'm glad you mentioned about, kind of who you meet there is just kind of who we are. Because one of the things we say, you know, continuously in our branding and what we put out online is that this is a grown woman organization. It's like we're just we are who we are. We all got lives, we got jobs and bills and house notes. Some of us got kids and spouses and all the things. And so we just don't have time to be fake. We are who we are. And, we invite people to come and do life with us. So I'm glad that we were able to express that transparently. So tell me, how was, and I know there are certain things that we can't share, but just thinking about the process when you were going through the process, was there ever a time where you were like, no, this is not for me? And if so, what kind of pulled you back in?
So I did have those thoughts because I
Hmm.
was like, I didn't really like, you kind of explain what to expect, but you don't really know what to expect. And then
Till
I
you
was
get
like,
in there.
no,
Hmm.
right. And then I was like, I really got a busy schedule. Do you really have time to do this? And I don't want to be jumping through hoops because I always think about when I think sorority, I think about undergrad, all the stuff that they went
Yes,
through
exactly.
and
Like we ain't doing no.
people, yeah, I'm like, I'm too
Yeah,
old to do all of that and jump through these
same.
hoops. It's like, either it's coming for real and I've
Come
got to
on.
be committed to it or figure out how to step away from it if it's things that I'm not interested in doing because I've got way too many things in life to do just day to day and just in general trying to achieve in the future. So
Right.
what kind of pulled me into it was really when I looked at your page and looking at the service to community because I really think as I start to look forward as my later years in life, it's like, Sheila, what kind of legacy do you want to leave?
Come
What
on.
kind of
Yeah.
legacy do you want to have? And then I thought about, giving into the community and helping the community develop and not only helping them develop, but through that is also continuing to develop myself. So I looked at it as
Yeah.
like a win-win situation. And so I thought that that was a strong connection for me.
I'm glad you mentioned that too, because there are women who think that, kind of like you implied, oh, I should have done this, when I was younger and, in my 20s or at undergrad or whatever. But at this stage of my life, because I'm older too, I think I'm the oldest. Well, no, I think we got one soror older than me, but I'm like up there. But I'm up there. But it's like like you, I'm thinking about my dad used to say it all the time, it's never too late to make a difference. It's never too late to make an impact. And it's never too late to really determine what you want your legacy to be. And like you, with all of the D9s and all of the other orgs, whether they're Links or Jack and Jill or whomever, with all of the orgs that we have, there are still many needs in our community. So there's room
Mhm.
for everybody. So I'm glad community impact is important to you, and that's one of the things that drew you. What would you say to, because just like you, there are women that are probably going to be watching this that are busy, got a lot of things going on. Um, how did you and your line build relationship with everybody having all the things to do, but having to come together and do the things that you had to do together, y'all in different time zones, all the things. How did you guys make that work from your perspective?
So I think from our perspective as a group as a whole, I think everyone was committed, and
Mm-hmm.
everyone was genuine and they showed up. And so I think really what helped is like the Sunday sessions that we had. But in addition to that, I really like the speed networking or the speed dating where we got to
Mm-hmm.
call each other and talk to each other. So that was an opportunity for me to get to know, you know, every single person on my line, what they liked, what
Yeah.
they needed support with, what they were interested in, what they did in their life. And then that's when I kind of realized that there was only one other person in Michigan and everybody else was
Was
across the
everywhere.
country. So
Right.
I
You be
was
like, wait,
like,
what time is it
okay.
there? Like,
Right. Right. So
yeah.
then it was like, oh, okay, but I could still appreciate what everyone brought to the table. It's
Mm-hmm.
about like learning from each other. We're all bringing something to the table. We all showed up when we needed to show up. We all had conversation. If someone was missing, it's like, someone would always say, did everyone get their homework in? Because I know you're stressed. If
Mm-hmm.
no one, if one person's missing, everyone's missing. So everyone get their homework
That's
in.
right.
And then did everyone do their individual project? And it's like, okay. So for me it was like some each person played an individual role into making the line work, and that I can
Yeah.
appreciate that, because a lot of times when you get in teams, there's always someone that's negative or doesn't want to play along with the program. But we weren't like that. Everyone collaborated and did their part and was kind of checking on each other, so I could appreciate that.
I love that. Yeah, I agree. And like I've said in a couple of these videos, Soror Tiffany and I were just kind of watching some of your exchanges, and we're in the back stressing, like, okay, I hope they do it. I hope they pull it together. And we trying to stay out the way and trying to be like, oh my God. Yeah. I mean, we stressing like new parents. It was so funny. And she would be texting me and I would be texting her, girl, you think they okay? I haven't heard anything. Blah, blah, blah. Well, make sure you answer that question. It was so stressful on our end, because of, first of all, we just knew you guys were a magnificent line, and we wanted so much for you guys to succeed and for everybody to really bond. And I think that we saw that. So I applaud you guys. It was just a magnificent experience to watch. Um, Now, on the other side, now you're full-fledged soror and about to do all the things. We were just talking about what we're going to be doing in Michigan not too long ago. What are you looking forward to? What are you looking forward to either learning or contributing to or teaching or whatever? What are you looking forward to doing as a part of the organization?
So first, as a part of organization, definitely getting to meet every single person
Yeah.
um, in there and to see which ways we can collaborate. So I'm all
Mm-hmm.
about collaboration. Can we collaborate to do an activity where no one feels like everything is just put on one person and they got to do it by themselves? So I like that aspect. But also for me, like I said, I'm about the community. So not only,
Mm-hmm.
servicing here in Detroit, but how can we support the other sorors that are in other
Yeah.
regions of the countries with their activity, especially if they're the only one there?
Yeah.
How can we
That's
support
going to be
them with
really
that?
important. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And-
is it like
yeah, that's good.
is it like helping them with some of the tasks that they need to do, like calling people and stuff to help them in the planning aspect? And then also, are we available to go out to help them support in that physical activity? So they're
Mm-hmm.
not like the Lone Ranger, it's all about sisterhood and support and however we can support each other.
Oh, that's perfect. And what Sheila is mentioning there is that we do have some sorors who are the pioneer in their area. They are the only one there, but that does not mean that they are without support. Nationals support them, and as you heard our soror say, we're talking all the time, and people are dropping in their ideas, and it is a great opportunity for us to collaborate and support those sorors who are really alone but not by themselves. That's how I
Right.
try to say it, because we're all in this together. We want them all to succeed. And that's why we need some of you, because you are probably in areas where we already have sorors, or you can be a pioneer in your area too. So Sheila, I don't know if you remember back when you were watching these videos and getting a feel for what our sorority is about. But as we come up on time, I want to put the camera just on you and tell somebody who is watching and trying to figure out if we're for them, kind of what you needed to hear when you were watching these videos. What were you listening for? What did you need to hear? What would you say about our sorority or our organization that you think somebody watching needs to hear? So I'm gonna put the camera on you and just let you talk.
Okay. So if you are interested in joining Alpha Omega Lambda, or doing research into a sorority, I would say definitely go out and watch the videos and the Instagram and the posts, and also read about what their vision and mission is. And then also understand that at some point in time in your life, you have to take a leap of faith, and you have to trust that this is the organization for you based upon your research. And then not only that, go out to all the informational sessions so you can meet the sisters and get a feel for it and see if that fits with what you're looking for. I will tell you, it's a genuine organization. They do offer a lot of sisterhood and support, even though it's virtual, which was a little different for me because I thought everyone was in the same location, but they're not. But you know, through day-to-day communication, I mean, it's no different if you have friends from out of town. You're still socializing with them, interacting, laughing, joking, having a good time, and continuing to build that bond. And then secondly, also, because I'm about service and community service. So if you're looking for ways to volunteer or help support your community, to uplift it, and not only uplift your community, but also grow internally and learn about yourself and stretch yourself and challenge yourself to be more and be the best that you can possibly be, it's definitely worth looking into this organization, not only for the sisterhood, but for the growth and community service.
Thank you, Soror. I love that, and I love that you bring it back to sisterhood, because in the end, that's what it's all about. Thank you so much, Soror. I really, really, really appreciate you, and you and I are actually in the same state, so I can't wait for us
Yeah,
to get together and do some things. We've got some things planned for the summer, and I just can't wait to just hang out with you and with Soror Vicky, and just to be able to see you, feel you, touch you. I'm looking forward
right.
to hanging out with you. So thanks again. Stay in the studio. I'm going to be right back with you. I just want to close the show. Oh my gosh, right? I hope you can see why she was named the anchor of that line. Very steadfast, very um, she's just that way all the time across the board. And what we love about Sheila is that she doesn't really talk a whole lot when we were in sessions, but when she does, it's you need to pay attention and listen, because she's going to drop a nugget. She's going to drop wisdom, or she's going to ask a question that we have to go like, oh, I didn't even think about that. It's like, oh, wait a minute. And really have to stop and pause and think. And she's very intentional. And I'm so grateful to call her soror and sister. Please believe me and know that our whole entire sisterhood is like that, just very genuine and upfront, and just we are who we are. There's no pretense or putting on airs, or we just don't have time for it. Like I said, with when Sheila was here, we're a grown woman organization, and if that's what you're looking for, then we may be the sisterhood for you. We just invite you to come do life with us. We've got grace and space for the things that are going on in your life. But we also want to help you, as Soror said, to grow and to learn about yourself and to really make a community impact and build your legacy. And if that's what you're all about, I think you should give us a try. Come out to one of our interest meetings and hear all about us. If you're watching this and it is before June 14th, 2026, you see scrolling down on the bottom our website. Please, please, please go to our website, click I'm interested, give us your information and we will send you some information about an early access meeting that we have coming up this Sunday. So if you get in before Friday, I believe it is, you can join our early access meeting this Sunday. It's going to be a full interest meeting. You're going to find out everything that you need to know about recruitment, all the things. We're going to do that early because we've had a lot of interest for fall, and we want to make sure that we give everybody ample time when it comes to interviews and the application and all of that. So for those that are already on the list, we are opening our doors just a little bit to let you in, have an interest meeting and give you first crack at applying for the organization. So if you haven't already, go to our website, click on interested, give us your information, and come join us this Sunday. Get early access, get the information that you need. And even if you're not ready to apply then, at least you'll have the information. And you've got all summer to get yourself together, get ready, get prepared, all the things, and then join us in the fall in August when we open up recruitment to the general public. Okay? Well, thank you so much for tuning in. It has been a pleasure to be your host today. I look forward to the next episode of Hot Pink Pod. Until then, thank you so much for joining. I'll see you soon.